Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A happy Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Hoots Hard Ice Tea, a Boulder Real Brew Tea. Don't give a hoot, give two. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage, Kevin Bhandal with you here from Lloyd's Sad Insurance. I got that all right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. We're live on edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio as well as those watching on YouTube. Apologies for the delay. Had a little thing that we needed to get dealt with in this room. And
you made Eric cry.
What do you mean I made Eric cry?
You made Eric cry.
Actually, I almost made Trev cry.
It was very
Not
awkward.
gonna lie.
I'm kidding.
Well, I
What did
got
you do?
to Trev. Well, Trev made a joke about me in hot takes. So I went up and I was like, oh, like, thanks for, low blow. I can't go golfing right now, and you're making a golf joke about me and stuff. And he's like, are you really mad at me? And I was like, no. But he's so easy to...
He's got a kind heart.
He does. So it's so easy to poke him and make him feel bad about something. And
it was good.
He's too easy.
It was a good take.
I still think it was, I'm not going to lie, pity win.
Well, if you mean pity by Eric threw it to him, then I can see that.
Eric had some, what was the one take that the Rick Tocchet take was outstanding.
Listen to any of my takes. That's bullcrap.
Oh, wow.
Trev's not happy with
A little
it.
flyby there from the other studio. Oh, well done, Eric. Well done.
You guys ready
Helping
for a
the kid
game
out.
tonight? A game 5, Oilers.
Yeah. Hudson's White. We switched up the schedule again. I'll be on Bourbon Street Saturday for game 6. Now we're into the dog days of the playoffs, it feels like. Is it fair to say that? Because it's like, okay, you had a day of rest. Now it's game day. Engage. Be ready. And we're talking about the media and the fans. Forget the teams right now. Like, it just feels like that. So I don't know what's going to happen tonight. It's just been, one slug, one blow after another. And I like this slugfest. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Kevin?
It's been a great series. It's hard to get a read on it. Like, honestly, I don't know how the scores are always 1-goal games. Either one team's got 1,000 chances and the other ones don't. Like, the Oilers could be up 5-1 in one game, and then you look at the score, it's 1-0 Vancouver. It just, I don't know what the block is that the goals aren't just flying in from everywhere. And goaltending's been an issue on both sides, so it's not like the goalies are standing on their
Can I
hands.
say something really quickly? I'm glad you brought that up, Kev, because I was watching, I think it was Sportsnet, one of their Toronto shows, talking like they know what's going on with the Oilers and Vancouver Canucks. It was hilarious. I'm sitting there with my dad. I'm like, they don't have a clue. Anyway, so they're going, oh, the Arturs Shelovs is great. And then they go, oh, Stuart Skinner's been atrocious. Yeah, Stu Skinner's numbers are bad. The Oilers are tied at 2. They were down 2-1 with Skinner and net. But you look at Shelov's numbers, and Gager, you and I went into it quite a bit yesterday on Oil Stream, but Shelov's has made the save at the right time, and that's led to a couple of wins. But his numbers are not good in this series.
If for a person to look at the stats of the goalies and try to draw their conclusions just from that, it would be misrepresenting the actual play. I think Stuart Skinner hasn't been good, but I don't think his numbers reflect his total play.
Right.
And Shelov's, who I think has played really well, they're actually better than his numbers dictate, because I think he's made, like you said, Tommy, the timely save to keep his team in it.
Yeah.
It's a weird series that way. Who shows up, I guess. Yeah. Who's going to show up tonight? Who's gonna have the better first 10 minutes? I think that will be a great indication of who's going to win this hockey game.
And that's what it's been the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Like 2 games ago, Vancouver came out hitting everything that moves, blowing guys up.
Yep.
They take the lead, and then we're chasing. And the last game is yours came out flying.
Yeah.
Shelov's an 887 save percentage in this series.
Yeah, and like a 350 GAA.
778, 871, 933, 900 save percentage in the 4 games. It's one of those with him, like he has played well, and like in game 3 especially, he made the saves when the Canucks needed them, which the Oilers weren't getting from Skinner.
Exactly.
But I haven't been in one of those games watching the Oilers and went, they can't beat this guy.
Right.
This guy has been, oh my God, this guy is unreal right now. The Oilers have no shot of beating this guy. They're getting goalie tonight. Like, this guy is unbelievable. I haven't gotten that from Shelovs yet. Where I felt like the Oilers just are never going to be able to crack this guy. A little different?
Well, I felt that he was locking the door at once they got up last game, the 2-0 lead. Oilers had some good chances, and he made some really good saves, like hard saves back and forth cross. I remember that one sequence where he went post to post and made some good saves. I felt like he was keeping the Canucks in reach. He was valuable in getting that game almost overtime.
He's had to battle a lot. Like, he's faced a lot of rubber versus what the Oilers goalies are facing. And I think the thing is too with Skinner, I don't think he played terrible, but he never made that wow save.
True.
Yeah.
And I equate it back to, even if you go back to the 90s when we had Cujo, that was Cujo's thing. Like, the Oilers would get shelled, and like, you know, the famous Nieuwendyk shot where he dives across and makes that save. We don't have that goalie doing it right now. It's just, and even Picard last game didn't have to do any, like, he was just at the right place.
Steady.
Like, he just played, fundamental.
Good at moving the puck too.
Would you rather be a goalie getting a lot of shots or getting shots
Easier.
here and there?
It's easier,
Yeah.
because you're in the game the whole time. If a game where you'd face 35 plus, way easier to stay with it. It's those lulls for 10 minutes. Your team's usually peppering the other guy. He's making saves, and then you're it's usually a really good chance back the other way. It's never just a nice floater that you can feel good about yourself with.
Right in the chest. Yeah.
So it's a 2-on-1 or one of their top guys is alone mano a mano. So that's usually how it works out. But that's why I always felt one of the greatest goalies, although he had a great defensive structured team, is Marty Brodeur. I mean, this guy would face 15, 20 shots a game. But when you look at the chances, they're 15 to 20 really quality chances, because that's what you had to do something special to get through the layers of those trapping New Jersey Devils teams. I was always mystified at that, how he was able to stay focused and in the game with having such a small workload.
He didn't make routine saves. He was kind of from the last of the stand-up era, transitioning into the butterfly style, and he was kind of this hybrid. And his saves were nice saves. Like, another thing about Brodeur that I appreciate is they were doing an all-star game. I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s, and it was a skills competition. He was trying so friggin' hard in the skills competition. I'm like, what happened to that? What happened to that? So obviously a note to a bygone era, but yeah, he had to be like brilliant when he made those saves, even though he was getting those 15 shots because Jersey's structure was so boring.
Oh gosh, terrible. But
So, Gager, let me ask you this. So with goalies, what's the mentality change when you're in the regular season versus playoffs? Like right now, the talk is, okay, do you stick with Picard, but do you hurt Stuart Skinner's feelings? Is he getting an ego check, or is it like come playoffs, everybody checks their egos at the door and whoever's playing is playing? Or is this, like, where do you go with that?
So you go with Pickard, obviously. I think that's a no-brainer. You go with the hot hand at this time of the year. This time of year is it's a lot more fun. I remember Cujo talking about it, and he loved this time of year the most because A, he didn't have to practice, and B, he was so competitive, and he liked the fact that he was going up against another goalie over at night after night, the same challenge every single night, and trying to outperform the guy at the other end. And you just getting that. You start playing against the same team over. You build up this hatred, and you just want to outperform and beat these guys. It's a lot of fun. But for Skinner, I just said this on the morning show. I think the fact that he has a guy in Pickard who throughout the year he's prepared himself to come in sparingly at different times, playing against really good competition too, and he can. Although it sucks, like it's a blow to the ego, yes, but you do have to put it in the rearview mirror. right now, Stuart Skinner has to prepare himself like his teammate did for when he went in and gave Stu a little bit of a break. So, and the fact that he can lean on Pickard for what his mindset was a little bit, I think can be beneficial. But he has to really focus, because if things go south, he's next up, best dressed.
Yeah.
This is Hangout Headlines, brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. The Ranch is the place you'll want to go golfing this season. Book your tee time by visiting theranchgolf.com. A couple of messages in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. No name on this one. I feel like Shilov's had horrible rebound control. A huge portion of the shots are there for a rebound. Vancouver has done a great job at collapsing down and limiting the chances. EA saying you think Shilov's will be due for a stinker at some point, right? And that, yeah, you would almost feel like this third stringer
Don't count
that's
on it.
coming in. But I think now that we're so many games in with him having played the playoffs, it's hard to now expect that is actually what's going to happen. I would have expected that maybe in the Nashville series, a couple games.
Game 1 was his stinker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the stinker.
Good point.
That's
Yeah.
when I thought it was like, oh gosh, this poor guy's just
There's goals that he was looking this way and the
Yeah.
puck's coming that way. It's just, he was terrible game 1.
the Hyman goal. The fourth was that. The
Yeah,
fourth one?
we're just,
That was
like, flubbed through
It
and-
was like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, and it was funny because I was thinking the Oilers are terrible right now and they're up 4-1. This is ridiculous. And then, of course, it just fell apart. But no, I don't think he can rely on a stinker.
I don't think that at this point now. Like
No.
again,
Can't wait
again,
for the stinker,
If
right?
it was the
No.
first couple of games of the series, I think maybe because going up against Connor and Leon and Hyman for the first time, maybe just like, oh boy. To Kevin's point, you could then point to the game 1. After that, why would you expect a stinker from him necessarily?
Yeah,
Like,
and you don't
he
want the
feels
stinker
pretty-
because you don't want Vancouver to pull him and put Demko in. Right? Like, you just got to beat them enough to keep them there.
I'm not worried about Demko
No,
because of coming off of an injury. This will, if Demko, I think that could be one of the worst things they do in this series potentially is go to Demko. Because it could be short term. He might not be good enough because he might not be healthy enough. And 2, if he's not healthy enough to get in, or if you're rushing him back slightly, are you hurting him? Could he?
I don't know. You look at Aiden Hill coming in last year. I'd rather go with the devil you know than the devil you don't.
This
keep him in.
Demko, oh, sorry, Kev, but
go ahead.
this Demko talk about like, oh, he's been taking shots for 3 days. There are people that genuinely think he has zero hope of playing in this series around that team. So I think it's a smokescreen that we're seeing this stuff with Demko.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite words right now, gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think the Canucks are keeping that there, and I don't think they want to close this door.
Right.
Because also maybe there is a chance he could still play if they get to a conference finals or a Stanley Cup, and they don't want to fully
that
shut
point,
that down.
yeah.
But also, they don't want any team right now to think that they're not going to get Demko.
Exactly.
But Vancouver's done a great job on the gamesmanship. Like, Talkett's been playing it right. I think that...
Working the refs
Yeah.
before the series even started.
But I think hanging Petey out to dry yesterday that might come back and bite him because he did not look impressed being out there. But for the most part, because you look at Knobloch and things are happening and he's not saying anything. He's like the Ned Flanders, like, golly gee, we're just going to try hard. Like the refs come over, explain stuff, and he's just, okay, right? Like
There's no
and
emotion on that guy.
Yeah.
No, he's
But also a guy that makes big moves. Like, look, in the end, the Pickard change was a bold move. That's not easy for a coach. I know a lot of fans wanted that.
Sure.
And he did what a lot of fans would have wanted. But for a coach to do that, that's not easy when there's a good reason as to why you don't do that. So I'm so impressed with Chris Knobloch his entire time
How
with
much
the
of that
Edmonton
was
Oilers.
Knobloch and how much does he go to Connor and Leon? Because he's going to go to his leadership and be like, boys, do we make this switch or not?
no.
I don't think he
I don't
goes
think
to them.
coaching on this
No.
one. I don't think goaltending.
I don't know, man. I don't know. If I was the coach and those are your two guys, you'd be like, do you feel comfortable with this guy or do you want to go with this guy?
Ooh, I don't.
I think
don't
that you lose the
yeah.
respect. You risk losing the respect of the room because now you're too scared to make a change unless Connor and Leon are happy.
Yeah.
And you've got to be strong enough in your own convictions to be like, I'm the coach of this team. And when I want to do something, we're doing it. Like, I think you still have to be able to be like, well, if I want to sit Leon as Chris Knobloch for a reason, I have to have the ability to do that. But if I'm going to them for approval on things, how do I later hold them accountable for
Yeah,
something?
I think that's a couple of coaches' meetings. Probably a lot of consulting with Dustin Schwartz, who I know it probably irritates fans to hear that, but he's valued member of the coaching staff, and then probably talking to Kenny Holland. It was probably more so on the management / coaching side. My guess would be.
Yeah, like
as
when
opposed-
JJ Redick becomes the head coach of the LA Lakers, he's going to LeBron James for everything.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the situation. Like he's being hired because he's going to be LeBron's mouthpiece on the bench. Like that's how that one's going to go.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris Knobloch's that for the Oilers.
But how about LeBron just showing up sidelines for a game with a bottle of wine? I think it was a WNBA game.
Yeah,
He
that
was at
weird.
a Cavs game
Was that
recently,
one?
I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if maybe he's been at
He
one
had a
of
bottle
each.
of wine
And he
sitting
didn't
there.
even hide it. It was just in
No.
his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's power.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna get this Vegas team. Like,
Oh no, that's going to happen.
yeah, and they're building a new arena and this and that and that. It's like, okay, LeBron said so we have to do it.
No,
so.
the thing about that though is LeBron doesn't do anything just because for the sake of it. Everything's calculated with LeBron.
Good.
Brian
That's
Windhorst
smart.
talked about that recently, just this week, going, he has no, like, because he was at a Cavs game or something. He's like, he doesn't know why he was at a Cavs game. LeBron's doesn't just go to a basketball game. He doesn't just go sit in an NBA playoff game.
Yeah.
What's he really trying to do? Is he going back to Cleveland? Because he's
Oh
a
my
free agent.
God.
Like
Again?
that's the like.
I heard he's going to Toronto.
He's supposed to the biggest thing is resign with LA, but now he's been seen at a Cavs game, and it's one of those. Why is he doing this? Again, LeBron doesn't do things unless they are calculated. He doesn't just happen to show up at an NBA game. He shows up for a reason. So what's this reason?
I don't know.
And that's the thing.
hilarious.
Well, Brian Windhorst is he's like the LeBron reporter.
Right.
He's had the biggest stories around LeBron. He knows it best. And when he's saying, I don't know what this means, no one then should know what is going on with LeBron.
If he
So-
really
sorry,
wants
side
to
note.
be considered the greatest ever, he should go to Toronto and win a championship there.
Well, there is an argument for him to go to a fourth team and win a championship. It doesn't if you go sign up with someone else and you go win a fourth title with a fourth championship with a different team, 4 different teams you've won a title with. That's a pretty nice little argument.
He had really good things to say about Toronto when they played against him in the playoffs, and they obviously ousted them. But he was thoroughly impressed with the fans, the way they interacted after. Like,
I think the entire NBA was.
Yeah.
I think across the board players were stunned because they saw the Canadian part of it too.
Yeah.
How the Jurassic Parks were popping up across the country. And apparently, was it ACC at the time or Scotiabank, whatever it was? It was loud. The media were going in talking about how unbelievable the atmosphere, and they hadn't seen anything like it almost in
Basketball
most places.
is amazing live.
oh yeah,
Amazing.
so good.
Go check out the
all
Stingers
sports.
if you want to see some basketball live.
And catch their broadcast here on EST.
First game will be next Tuesday.
Boom.
The opening of the CEBL will be Stingers in Calgary against the Surge. We will have that game for you right here on our audio stream of Edmonton Sports Talk, edmontonsportstalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio.
Boom.
As we will have live Stingers games throughout their season. Go to edmontonsportstalk.com. At the top it says Edmonton Stingers. Our full schedule is there. And then we announced yesterday the Edmonton Riverhawks will also be on
Radio
our station.
home.
We're the radio
All right.
home
I love
of the Edmonton Riverhawks. So, look, we're going to be at the games a lot.
Yep.
But if you
Section I
can't get
gang.
to the game or when they're on the road, if you want to keep tabs on the Riverhawks, EST is the place to be.
Yeah, and watch out for the Section I gang because we're mean. We're mean. We wear shorts, sandals, and T-shirts that are size medium.
And yesterday I discussed Belzy is very concerned about this for me. I want to do the 999, 9 innings, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs.
You might die.
Belzy did that?
No, he's concerned about me.
Oh, you're
As he
gonna do
should
that?
be.
I want to.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think it could do it. I'm not worried.
We're gonna be carrying you
So-
home like fireman.
Is it
carry.
going to be light beer or is it going to be
Well,
six
so we figured
o'clockers,
if the
tall
6
cans?
if it's the 6 o'clockers and the tall cans, I have to adjust it. It's got to be. We figured 7 beers through the 9 innings.
So 355 milliliters is
Yeah.
considered a beer. That's
Right.
a small can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
tall boys are 473.
Yeah.
So I got to do 7 of them.
Yeah.
Because I said it was 6, but Belzy convinced me to do 7, so I've got to do 7. So
course
like
he did.
every inning and a half or so, I got to go through at 6 o'clock if they're the tall boys.
I'll come do it with you.
If it
Sweet. I'll
You'll bring the hot
babysit.
dogs.
and I don't think that the hot dogs not that worried. Like I'm not going to go for the big footlongs or something.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a mistake. But the smaller ones,
We
I
call,
could
we
crush
call them
those.
value at Commonwealth.
I could do that. I'm not worried.
It's
I
going to
just
be one of those great Instagram stories. Hi, I'm at Iwanyk after 1 beer. I'm at
Yes.
Iwanyk after 5 beers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll
That's
just
a great idea, Kevin.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely.
a fantastic.
Well, somebody will have to do like the full Instagram, like each inning, like
Yeah.
hot dog
Yeah.
1, beer 1,
get-
do 2.
Make sure
and
you
all
keep
that.
a pail beside my garbage
Oh,
can, right?
but-
Yeah.
You need a Joey Chestnut jersey too.
The hot dog's easy. I just have to bring a little bit of water with Pedialyte in it, and I know I'll be fine. And I'll make sure it's a really hot day.
I want Belsey to be there too.
He doesn't want to be there. He does not want to have to take care of me. Even though he was encouraging going to 7 beers, he was against this the entire
That is
time.
so him.
So
That is so him.
I think the VR Montenegro said he'd do it. Gager, now I'm holding you onto this. He said he'd jump in.
I'll document this. I'll come to the game. Yeah.
So I need to try to do that at one point.
Okay, and then I'll give
there's
all the
the other
viz.
side, this which I would never do because I don't think I could. But there's the other 999 is 9 holes, 9 beers, 9 dogs. I think that's
I've
too
done
quick.
that before.
That's hard.
I think I've done
Through
that.
9 holes.
Yeah, for sure I did that.
Bob does sports. Him and his buddy Joey Coldcuts, they did a whole round, and it was like a beer a hole or something like that, and they were in rough shape. And I think it was Coors Light that they were drinking too.
Yeah.
Bob does sports is pretty fun. I like Bob does sports. If you ever
What
watch
about
it.
some
Dustin with a Y, by the way, saying I'm in.
Of course, Dustin with
We'll build a little curve. I'll just plan a day. Then come join us in Section I. We're doing this.
See,
who
Dustin
can
with
go.
a Y, I think could do it.
Why couldn't I?
I mean, you could try.
Why wouldn't I be able to?
I want to build you up mentally. I want you to have that
Rocky music.
fire in your heart because they're the doubters like me to motivate you.
I just don't think you have the stomach capacity. Like, you're not built like Gager and I here, right? Where you got a little bit of a
Is it
tank.
the hot dog or the beer?
It's both. That's a
See,
lot that you're putting in there.
okay, but
right? And then
well,
it's
well,
just, if it was 9 shots, then I could see that.
Here's
like,
the
that's
beer is
not-
the one, that, and the beer is the part that worries me. But the food doesn't, because as I mentioned yesterday, one of my greatest accomplishments was 40-ounce steak night at the brew house. I did my 40-ounce steak plus sides. I did half of Dusty's steak and his sides. I could put it away.
That's incredible.
9
That
hot
is
dogs, not
incredible.
worried, not worried one bit.
Well, if they're not the footlongs, the normal hot dogs.
Well, just
I
a
think-
normal, and
yeah.
I'll put condiments on it. Belsey didn't want me to. I'll throw condiments on that thing. I'm not worried.
Okay.
Let's go.
Speaking of condiments, as you're saying that, Joel says no condiments. If he has condiments, he has no chance.
Easy.
Oh,
The hot dog's the easiest part of this all. It's
we've
the
got,
beer.
We've got people that want to do this. Andrew says he wants to do it. Like people
My
are like, sign me
gosh.
up, sign me up. Someone's like, Maddie, you're too skinny. You're not gonna make it.
Somebody call Steve Hogel. Make it the 999 EST.
Steve will be all
Well,
over that.
I don't know if I want to go with Steve because he might be like, you guys will never be welcome at a Red Rocks game again.
With hot dog sales? Psh, no problem.
Jesus.
So yeah, we that's coming to a River Rocks game near you. Look forward to
Looney
that.
hot dog night? Let's go.
Oh, that's the
Hell yeah.
easiest one to do. There's a couple. If the 6 o'clockers aren't there, there's a couple drinks at the Riverhawks game that I would use for this, not beer related. Is that allowed? Not beer? Like if I go like almost the seltzer route.
Oh. That you
they
want to go
have-
seltzers?
Well, they have this Dark Sky Distillery does a great drink there. It's gin based,
Okay.
and it's fantastic. I
But I
love
think
it.
part of the challenge
it's-
is the beer is
Is it the
bloating.
beer?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
makes
So it has to be
so
beer.
it makes it
It has
harder.
to be beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's like what I
There'll be
said earlier. With
something
9
there.
shots, you could do 9 shots
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just be a
okay,
little
well,
loopy.
I'll figure
Yeah.
out. I'll find the Alley Cats there. There'll be something from Alley Cats.
Let's try the
I'll
birdie
just
boost.
go with
See how
it.
it goes first.
Sneak some
9
in.
shots of birdie
I
boost.
see there's
Yeah.
a bunch of bottles over there. That's
Yeah,
great.
Schmidt gave it to me on Sunday for us. So.
And Schmitty, I had one of those posters left over that he
Those
told me to
were
bring
great.
Oh, I
Yeah.
should show that.
that. Yeah, you want to go get it?
Yeah, those posters are hilarious.
Well done. Yeah, Schmitty was like, "Hey, I've got posters for you to pick up." I'm like, "All right, I'll go pick them up." I had to go to Kelly's, where Schmitty was bartending.
Had to go to Kelly's.
I
right,
had to go
right,
to Kelly's.
Twist
And
your rubber arm.
there we go. Yeah, before I got to Hudson's to pick up those posters, which are great, by the way. Well done, everybody at Strathcona Spirits and Schmitty. And I think that might have even been a listener art piece that they submitted or something like that, but turned out great. And yeah, you saw them. They put them up at
yeah,
Hudson's the other
they're
night.
hilarious,
And then
yeah.
Cal in the Park, who you hung out with after,
Yeah.
they said that they had a great time chatting with you. And I was like, take one. Because they had the one taped to my table. I was like, take it. This is good. But yeah, that was really well done. We got to do something with that one. We have to, I don't know.
What you did
With
instead
what?
of the $50 gift cards to the pretty girls, you sign the poster and
Oh yeah, roll it up, throw it in the back of their car. Like that guy's weird.
What's your phone number on this?
Yeah,
It's like the old stripper posters. Wish you were here. And
This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots, Matt Iwanyk, Kevin Bhandal, Joaquin Gage, Tom Gazzola with you here. We will have a qualifying opportunity for that VIP table to the Friday of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis, completely sold out. You can't get in. You can only get in through EST, basically. There's limited tickets to the Saturday and the Sunday. Alley Cat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. We will get to that. The GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show tonight, 6:30. Tommy's at Hudson's White Ave tonight.
We switched it up.
Yeah, because yesterday we had a change after the Hangout. So he'll be at White tonight, West Ed on Saturday night. But so come out, hang out with with Tommy, and enjoy Game 5 tonight as the Oilers will be taking on the Canucks. And a reminder on Saturday after Hello Hockey from 10 to noon, myself and Jay Milne will be at Clark Stadium for the Elks Fan Day. We'll have a little live Elks preview show, if you will, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Weather looks like crap until Saturday, and then it's crap after Saturday.
What?
Rainy today, rainy on Friday, rainy Sunday, rainy Monday, but Saturday right now holding sunny and 15. So I'm really praying for that one because we don't have a tent. EST
I thought we got one.
We haven't got one yet.
Oh man,
That's probably not going to get one until June. So
Hey, I
won't they
know.
just move it into the field house?
well,
Fan-
I don't know.
I don't know. Would they put Fan Day in there? Maybe.
I don't know actually, but they'd
'Cause
have
I'm
to
sure
move
they're
us
practicing
and
in
all
the
of that. Well, we just don't have anything covering our equipment. So
Nah.
Maybe we should get a tent.
we are working on it. We're working on it. It's
I
not
feel
going to
like
happen
we
right
have
away.
access to a tent somewhere.
We don't really need it.
We know
It's
a place
nice.
that's not using tents anymore. That might not have branded ones.
The old place?
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder what would have happened to our tents.
Nothing. They're sitting in the shed rotting.
I would
Guaranteed.
absolutely use
I'm
it.
sure no one
TSN
changed the
close.
code to the lock.
I should ask you.
Well, Dusty's got a pass still.
I should ask Zach. I should shoot Zach a message. You still have those tents?
Hey,
you want to
we're
give
gonna
them to
slap
us?
an EST logo over that bad boy for a little bit.
That's
Lloyd's
about
has a
it.
tent. Maybe we can get some free advertising. out
Oh.
of it. Yeah. Talk to you Friday.
K4 has a tent too.
Oh, see?
No, Lloyd's has a tent.
Yeah, right.
Lloyd Sad and K4 have tents.
We'll just put them side by side. We'll have an extra one.
So much space for activities.
Jess, I'm on it.
Jess is the best.
And her name's our Jess.
She's our Jess.
I like that.
Our Jess.
Thanks for tuning in, Jess.
Was asking if Joaquin, because we were still at BP when I did my hit, and I was a little bit late. My bad, Jess. I was breaking down the gear, and I was chatty Cathy at BP. But she's like, is Gager wearing the leather?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are curious.
Andrew's offering a tent too. So if the forecast turns, I have a lot of options
We
for a
have
tent now,
options, like,
which is great.
Let's save our gear just in case it rains, because we need it.
You'll need protection from the
Yeah.
sun anyway.
Oh, no, I want the sun. I need a tan. I need to get the tan going.
You look like you'd burn.
No, actually, I don't.
I burn.
I used to as a kid, but
have
I don't
delicate
burn anymore
skin.
really that much. You have to be obviously, I'm going to sit out in the sun for like 12 straight hours. There'll be a bit of a burn come, but no, I haven't had a chance to build the base tan yet, so I would take the opportunity.
I don't know about you, Gager, but the privilege of having pigment in your skin, I've never had a sunburn. We used to go
Lucky.
skiing. We'd go skiing with our buddies in university, and one buddy's Randy used to get blisters. Like he'd put on SPF 100 and still get. And I
Yikes.
may have gotten a little bit on the tip of my ears, and it was just
I hate the ear one.
privilege.
Oof.
The ear one sucks.
I
go
use
just a
40
small
now.
spot.
I always like I don't. I used to tan a lot, but I burnt like the sun's different now. When I was a kid, no sunscreen running around all day.
Didn't we
Yeah.
destroy the ozone layer?
Yeah, I think
remember
I
that
think it's
was
been
a thing.
healed.
Yeah,
to a degree.
the ozone layer came back.
All right.
Yeah, we've done it. We did some things as a society, and
No more styrofoam.
back to Hawaiian Tropic #2 oil. Then smells just
Bye,
great.
Trav.
Just cook that stuff right in.
See you,
there.
Trav.
Bye, Trevor.
Congrats on the win, Trev.
Yeah.
well deserved.
Look at him. Look at him
he's
with
high
it.
stepping out.
He's got it. It's on his keychain. Jesus.
Look at this. Look at that.
Go run through them all with that thing.
Who's that weird guy with the oven mitt on his head?
He actually afterwards, I don't know what he was doing, but he grabbed it and was like touching his face with the last little few minutes of the show. I'm like, geez, what a win.
It's been a long time.
It has
was a
been a
long
long
drought.
time. Yeah.
It was a very long drought. It was like when
Yeah.
the Oilers finally made the playoffs after a decade of darkness. He finally got his win.
Yeah, and he was like, he's a cute kid. He like looking at me, and I was like, why are you looking at me? He was like, gave me the Trump thumbs up. I was like, oh my gosh, Jesus. Just providing a little bit of joy in today.
See,
It
that's
means
why-
a lot to him. He's gonna go home, call his mom.
Oh yeah.
This is why it was a pity win.
Oh,
You felt bad for him, so you wanted to give it to him.
and,
Yeah,
I can't wait for the Matthew Iwanyk roast. You are gonna, if that one joke is still Barb.
You better hit the ball straight after his take, though. That's all I got to say.
I'm just gonna blame the wing. I can't anymore.
Yeah.
The surgery messed with it. I'll never be. I'll never be able to do it. Actually, with that, the last couple of years of golf, I figured out my slice. That was not my issue of golf. I finally figured out my stance and setup. That the slice would only happen like once around, maybe. And if it wasn't like gone completely. Like it's just a little off. And I was like, okay, I could play off that. I actually, for somehow, figured out my slice, and I was very proud of myself.
attaboy.
I hate watching like the golf tips and stuff because I'm so gullible. And I watch this guy, you swing like this, you do this. I go, oh, right.
Of course.
PGA, here I come.
Rick Shields.
I love Rick Shields.
Rick Shields. I followed some of his stuff, and that helped me fix my slice. Rick Shields was great for me.
There is some great stuff on YouTube to watch. And you just,
And there's
it's like,
crap on there too.
Oh, I know.
And you
And-
can tell right away.
I think it's a light bulb that oh my gosh, I'm going to be.
Well, Trev and I were talking about it a couple weeks ago because we've both seen some of the same videos, and there's a couple things of just how you could always hit it straight in some really weird ways. He's like,
yeah.
I went to the driving range, tried them all. None of them worked. None of them worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's that one guy, I think it's Gavin Flo or something like that on Instagram, the black guy who's always like, golf ain't that hard, right? And you watch him and you're like, oh, it's not that hard. And then you go out there and you're like, no, it's hard.
I really liked Manolo Golf for a while. He's like, I think he's
Oh, the guy with the beard, the
Yeah.
Cuban kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy.
don't be nasty.
Yeah.
Like he's hilarious, but then I got tired of it. I'm like, okay, no more Manolo. I gotta just go back to Rick Shields.
You know Luke Horchitza, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for his birthday 2 years ago, they did one of those cameos for him.
Oh,
with
really?
That guy. He goes,
Yeah.
Luke, I know you. Oh, I can't repeat what he said. It was a expletive-laden personal message from Manolo to him.
But Manolo totally pumps up the accent and
Oh,
the stereotypes
yeah.
because I remember seeing him. He was like he was at a golf event and they had him like on camera talking to someone. He's just like a very articulate,
Yeah,
well-spoken
yeah.
guy. And then you turn on the camera for this. What's up, nasties? And I was like, this guy's great.
Oh, it's good. So good.
Trev's in the nasty chat. Average, above average, going, cute kid, come on.
Wow, he's listening like that. Dude.
Jeez, right back into the car and doing it.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with being called cute kid.
He's a cute kid. It was a cute moment. Jesus.
I don't know.
I'm 50.
I don't care that he's 25. Zach, you should take that.
Yeah.
Go with it.
Zach's just jealous he didn't get called a cute kid today.
You got a long way to go.
And he's not that cute.
I'd like to see Zach do some hot takes.
That'd be good.
I just heard Zach go, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, this is funny.
That's good. Oh, man.
Oh, is there anything else we need to get to with the Oiler game here tonight?
Trying to think.
Like,
But,
I think overall, like,
who do you guys have as who's emerging tonight other than the usual
and they
suspects?
practice,
12:30.
yeah, 11:30. They always do the Pacific. 11:30 is Pacific, 12:30
Our time.
local. Who's going to emerge?
Like, I'm waiting for. I'll allude back to what was a tremendous oil stream yesterday at Boston Pizza, St. Albert North. Thank you, Rob and Mel. Fantastic. But you talked about it, and we talked about it. It's like we're waiting for Corey Perry to have that moment where he comes up big. This was great, like the cross check in front of Brock Besser. Like that was awesome, but that's not the moment we're waiting for, right?
You're talking about more like production,
A big
or
goal, a momentum changing play of some sort, fight, hit, scrum, draws a penalty, something that is like hugely vital.
I think
that-
Corey Perry's getting into that. Like you see him being feisty. Like there was after the whistle one time. I forget who the Canuck was, but he held on to him. The refs are trying to take him down. Like he's doing that, but there's nobody else jumping in with
Yeah.
him in the scrum. I think
Good
that's
point.
he's the
Yeah.
leader. He's the guy who starts it, but you need the other guys coming in and throwing punches behind.
True.
Yeah, you need everyone pulling on the same rope at that, and doing it yourself. You're like, why am I doing? Like, come on, guys. So, maybe Kane. Kane's been good though. Kane's been.
That hit on
He
Ron.
was fantastic last game.
He was been really good.
He was physical
man.
like the entire game from start to finish.
It's funny how he. It's a kind of a switch for him. A lot of guys they can't just change, but he really flipped the switch to a playoff competitor. He's been impressive, but. Saying that too, he's got to find the back of the net. Like,
Well, I'm also like Zach Hyman hasn't scored since the first goal of this series.
Yeah.
Or first game of this series. He's only had 1 assist in the last 3 games. I'm somewhat waiting. When does he be Zach Hyman in a sense? Like just production wise, and add that little extra. And is that the thing that puts the Oilers over the top against the Vancouver Canucks? That for the most part, he's been contained to a degree, offensively at least, by the Vancouver Canucks. And I'm waiting for him to. Nuge had last couple of games has been pretty well, and is it Hyman now take that step up for this team?
That made me think of something. In the last couple of games, the Oilers haven't really scored a Zach Hyman goal, have they? It's off the rush. It's off from the point. It's a power play setup. That great pass from McDavid to Draisaitl. They haven't really mucked in a goal.
it's been
all series,
too
kinda.
cute. I would like to see, and I think that it was a great play. So. Even the pass from Leon on the game winner. But I think having that net front presence a little bit more from Evander Kane on that play, because now you're worried about rebound control as a goaltender. And I think when you see there was a few times slightly odd man rush chances for the Oilers, pucks off to either wing, and you see both guys opening up for shooting opportunities, right? Yeah. Like you always hear the center drive. So not only you take a D-man with you, usually it can open up the cross ice that way even a little bit better, but also provides not just 2 pass opportunities, shooting the puck on net and going there and seeing what happens, right? If the goalie stops it, like you mentioned, Shelov's rebound control hasn't been great, but it hasn't had to be good.
But have the Canucks done a good enough job of clearing those rebounds, and that's why the Oilers can't muck it up and get those mucked up goals?
There's no
Are they
one
just
going
doing a really good job?
There's no one going there.
Well, Hyman's still there at the very least.
But I mean, even off the rush, there's times when there's passes made, and where you have guys in good scoring position that to get a good shot on net, that they're still looking to pass, and you waste a whole opportunity without even a shot on net. They can't have that anymore. Yeah. I'd like. It's tough for me to talk about offense, and I really only think that maybe Connor and Leon are the only guys to look for something special. Everyone else, when it gets to a certain point, take the safety off, let it buck.
But I think Vancouver's done a good job of taking away that Hyman type goal by playing 5 on screen when they're on defense. Like if you look, you'll always see the 5 Canucks in the slot protecting their own end. So even if there's a scramble in the crease, like even that one where Shelov grabbed whoever's stick, right?
Yeah.
But there's like 4 Canucks all hammered down, so they're just out-ratioed, right? They're just outnumbered. So Vancouver's done a good job taking that away. That's where you got to score off the rush and on the power play.
And good thing for the Oilers, they have that ability to do that.
Yeah.
That was Derek Ryan. Yeah.
The holding.
Yeah. What do you hold?
If he just plowed through, that's a goal. But he's like, I got to get it on my stick. Why is my stick not going? Oh, Shelov's is holding it. Should have been penalty.
But I'm interested to see that Nurse Desharnais pairing. Like, just get a couple of mean guys back there. And I like the fact that Desharnais, you'll never see him up in the rush. Like, you've seen Kulak, you've seen Ekholm, you've seen all these guys. Even that, when Fogle did that backhand pass to center, you look at the highlight, Nurse and CC were on a jailbreak. They're like, why are both you guys burning up ice? But that, just let Nurse do his thing, and at least you have a steady stay-at-home guy to be back.
Yeah. How about, did you watch any of the game for the Stars in Colorado last night? Rupe Hintz out, taking a shot. That's you can see it, massive hole that left in the Dallas Stars. And man, Cale Makar, there's comparables now. Bouchard's having a good playoffs, but he's just a different different beast altogether, I think. And watching him, and I find that him and Hughes are similar. Hughes is banged up.
Yeah.
You don't.
Oh yeah, he's banged up.
You don't see him dancing the blue line as much as you did during the regular season. So if I'm the Oilers, I'm still really, really targeting him to be as physical as possible, because with Susie back in now, it provides a little bit more stability on the back end.
I thought the Stars were going to pull that off yesterday, and then you just saw slowly Colorado take over that game and chip away, and man, that was impressive.
Colorado did that against Winnipeg too.
Yeah.
Right, where Winnipeg would take off, and then Colorado would slowly come back and get the win.
And then just, it's like the guy that gives you when you're doing an arm wrestle, you like tease him.
Bang!
That Arturi Lehkonen, he's a whale. Like, he reminds me of that Yuri Lehtinen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what a good player. He falls under the radar a lot with some of the talent there. Like, he's always a phenomenal 200-foot player. Wow, is he good?
Yeah, that was a huge pickup for their cup run, right? But Rangers get it done?
I don't know.
Hello,
I always like
Rangers.
that team that's had the 3-0 they lose to, and then they're not going to allow 7.
Right?
Yeah, it's hard to lose 4 in a row.
And I just like, I think the Rangers, they don't want that pressure of having to deal with the game 7. That tonight they're going to be like, hey boys, we've pissed around for 2 games. Let's finish this off. Let's just end the Hurricane season, and let's get our rest for the Eastern Conference Finals. Allow,
But then again, if there's a series that's going to do it, that'll be the one. Like like how many overtimes were there?
yeah. Well, Carolina they could be up 3-2 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, that's, I don't know. I think it's going 7, to tell you the truth.
Ooh, juicy.
I don't know. I felt that last game, Carolina dictated a lot of the play. Like, it wasn't the Rangers' best game, but they seemed hemmed in a lot. I could put money on them going 7 for sure.
There's kind of like turmoil with the Canes a bit because the Rod Brindamore contract status, that becoming public. You're like, what's going on? We had Dave Pagnotta last week on Hello Hockey say, like, Rod Brindamore basically just wants to coach the Hurricanes. He doesn't want to move anywhere. It's a family thing. He wants everybody on the team to be taken care of, all that stuff. Team first guy. You played with him at Notre Dame?
No, but he was
before
older
you.
than me, but
Right.
yeah, he was around.
So, like, he's got all these values that he brings to the table. And then Tom Dundon, being Tom Dundon, very interesting owner, eccentric kind of, is kind of toying with Rod Brindamore. At the same time, they sit out Anderson for a game, and as Pagnotta described it, it was Anderson wanted a break. He wanted a break. So they gave him a game off.
It's amazing.
And apparently he did the same thing last year in the playoffs too. And then so they played Kochetkov, and all of a sudden now you got Anderson back after his break mid-series. It just like, it's very unlike the Canes, because now all of a sudden you have like these other factors. You're like, what happened? Why is there drama with you guys? There's usually never any drama, or if there is, it's kept in house. Like, you don't hear about it from the outside.
I don't think do you think if Rod Brindamore, if they go a different direction, I don't think he coaches another team.
Then that's what I was surprised by. Like,
Don't
And
tell
that-
that to Leafs fans.
that's what Pagnotta. The Leafs are getting everybody. Okay, they're getting everybody.
Yeah.
But how about like Adam Oates teeing off on the Leafs too? By the way,
Oh, I didn't hear that.
he
What
did
is
it
it,
on the Andy Strickland, Cam Jansen podcast, just blaming like a bunch of different guys and not Marner, and it was Adam Oates is a different cat too apparently.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just Rod Brindamore apparently doesn't want to coach anywhere but Carolina.
That's a terrible negotiation tactic. Tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I don't think you would talk like, I'm trying to negotiate this, but I'm not going anywhere
I'm
else.
not going anywhere.
If you go with someone else, I'm just not going to coach.
I'm staying
Take
here.
that.
The owner's like, I don't know if I want you. He's like, well, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to sit in the stands and I'll just watch the game. How are you going to deal with that? Yeah, no, like maybe flirt with some other teams right now, even if you won't take them. I'll just, very poor negotiation right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be with the organization in some capacity, even if they don't.
You just bump
It'd be
him up to
stupid.
something.
I mean, he's
some advisor or something like that.
I mean, he's you see him working out in the weight room. It's just like crazy.
Yeah. I saw him at the gym here when the Canes were in town. Rod the Bod just walks in, crushing it. Yeah. I'm like, this guy's a beast,
At
man.
Notre Dame, I think he had keys to the weight room. And no, he was BMOC. He was the big man on campus. And so he'd just walk over to the rink. Like, we were all in dorms or whatever. And you'd see Rod go over at night and go for a midnight workout with his weight belt and stuff like that. Just crazy. The other thing I heard, too, because when that junior team at Notre Dame was ridiculous. I think 17 guys all got Division I scholarships to teams.
Well, that was the Shattuck St. Mary's before Love Canada, before all these academies started.
Yeah,
right?
it was them and St. Mary's, yeah. So hockey doesn't start till later, but he was working out, but all the football players at Michigan State were there. And Rod was getting so big that they told him, they had to tackle him to stay out of the weight room because he was getting too big at
But
Michigan
he's
State.
old school built.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's all upper body. You look at these guys now, and there's nothing on it. It's all legs.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing to the guys now, actually. They look like, you ever go to the ponies that go to racehorses? Like how they look? That's how guys look.
Yeah, that is true. Like,
they're
I
not.
noticed that.
Yeah, when I play, even the jerseys, you watch the Nagano Olympics, where you see jerseys are huge and guys just look massive.
Yeah.
You know, they're way bigger. And now there's nothing to them. But it's a speed game.
Paul texts in saying, guys, wife works at Rogers. Apparently, if the Rangers close it out tonight, Oilers-Canucks, 6 o'clock on Saturday.
man, good.
Go Rangers.
Nice. 6 o'clock game Saturday. That's perfect.
6
be
o'clock
all right.
Saturday game. Perfect for everyone to just party afterwards if it's a series clincher, let's say.
I'm not at Hudson's till 1 a.m. God bless everybody at Hudson's. I love both White and Bourbon Street, but 1 a.m. getting out of there and off the air sucks.
So, yeah, the Rangers. Everyone should be on board with the Rangers tonight
Jays.
just for that. Also, I'm going to need some Nasty's help. I need to build the EST parlay for today at Coolbet. What I have right now, is this good enough? I want some Nasties to jump in and tell me if this is good enough. Or should I change something or add something? I got Oilers win. I got McDavid 2+ points, which is just something we've always put in. I got Leon and Bouchard both at 1+ points. I was tempted to do Leon 2+ points. Or do I just leave it at 1+ points? And then I got over 1.5 power play goals in the game. So Oilers win over 1.5 power play goals. So two or more power play goals in the game overall, both teams. McDavid 2+ points. Leon Bouchard 1+ point. Good. Change something. Let me know. Nasty chat or the Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999.
Don't you throw in like a PGA score in there? Or low score from the
No,
PGA
this is
Championship?
for game 5 EST
okay. I'm thinking
parlay.
Multi-sport parlays.
No, that's
Boost the odds.
I've got I could throw it. We could boost these odds all with just the Oiler game.
I guess.
We could go all over the place. I could throw in a Hyman goal, and we could do almost whatever we want with it within the game.
I guess.
But I don't know if that's good enough or if I should do more with that.
You should do a get off the Schneid parlay,
Oh, I like that.
right? Like the guys who have like a Fogle or a Connor Brown in there, and
Oh, I wouldn't touch Connor Brown. Fogle, Hyman. Who else would we throw in there? 3 players.
McLeod.
McLeod.
oh yeah,
1+ points from each of them.
You want that?
The
dude.
Oilers off the Schneid
Yeah.
parlay.
That's retirement money there, I think.
Should I get the boys to throw that one up there?
I'd put money on that.
Off the Schneid. Jeez.
Make that your lean.
Well, I might. Spency 5 cents. He's saying I like Nuge Point. He's on a 5-game point streak. So who do I take out though? But I've also got him a different parlay. Okay, I'll leave that one for your other parlay. Somebody saying take McDavid shots instead or Hyman shots. Okay, let's take a look at that. I'll take a look at those numbers right now. What do we have for Hyman shots in this game?
Hyman shots. I'd take McDavid shots first, I think.
Well,
take
but the
Nuge.
thing is, with McDavid's, like McDavid's numbers, they're always going to be lower value or something. So McDavid over 3.5. Well, we could put it whatever we want. Over 3. So 4 shots or more is -114.
Well, you don't know
we could
what
lower
game
that.
it is for McDavid. Like there's games that he's in the slot and he just won't shoot, and he just dishes it off. And there's other ones where he's shooting from everywhere. So you just don't know what his night's going to be.
So Zach Hyman, this series in 4 games, 4 shots, 4 shots, 8 shots, 3 shots.
Okay.
Hyman over 3+ shots, I'll throw that in there. I'll take out the. What do I take out? I'll just make it a big parlay. Screw it. Hyman, 3 or more shots. This is what I'm going with. Oilers win over 1.5 power play goals. McDavid 2 points. Leon Bouchard 1 point. Hyman 3 or more shots. Boom.
That 2 hoots just went right to your head.
He's at 3 sips.
He's a drunk guy at the.
Yeah.
And then
This is the guy who wants to eat 9 hot dogs.
No chance.
Said
No
2 sips,
chance.
and he's doing this. Oh my God.
I like it. I don't know. What am I taking out? You tell me what to take out of the 6 things. Oilers win. Well, I'm not taking that one out. That has to be the build. Over 1.5 power play goals. McDavid 2 points. Leon 1 point. Bouchard 1 point. Hyman 3 or more shots. What do I take out?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
I think the dry side. Take out the dry side.
Did you take it out?
No, VR Montenegro. Exactly. Why subtract? I think that's what it is. So I'll wait a little bit, but I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the big one, and then I'm going to see if the boys could do the off the schneid parlay.
Yeah.
P. Grady's
Fogle,
like, this is done already.
McLeod, and Hyman all 1+ point.
That'll work.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Little
On 2 guys and
sprinkle.
a goalie, I'll have full updates on what it's out there in the values because you're stuck with me again.
Perfect.
Me, you, and I think Cass.
Cass is back, right?
Is he back?
He
I
hasn't
hope
said
so.
anything
He's got
that
a
he's not there.
post-game
So.
show to do tonight.
But he's got a show at noon to do.
Yeah, he has a noon
he hasn't
show to
said
do.
anything,
Yeah.
but so I'm assuming he's going to be
I
there.
think he's back.
It'll be 8 hours of Gage or otherwise. He's back on the
Nice
post
guy.
game.
Great, yeah.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction, brand new partner joining EST this week. This is This is the EST Hangout presented by 2 Hoots, Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage, Kevin Bhandal, and Tom Gazzola with you here. You could always jump into the nasty chat on YouTube or text the 780-218-9999 in the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Speaking of GS, if you get time, you got to get Turan in here. That guy's a beauty.
He would be great. Such a hard guy to get along with, Kevin. That Turan sand with, I'll tell you what.
It's awful.
Can't stand sitting by him at skates. Nothing good comes out of those conversations.
It's a lot easier than sitting beside him at a bar. We've done a couple of those homeless draft nights together.
Those are
and
fun, yeah.
It's just a long night.
Yeah.
He almost killed me one night. Almost got me
Go
killed.
on.
We were playing the Phantoms in Philly, and he was good friends with Eris Brianis. Eris Brianis. It was a D-man that played for Philly. Anyway, we were in town. The Flyers were on the road, so we got Eris's truck or whatever. So we were gonna go out. We had a day off or something, and we were going out that night. And Turan had the truck, and we go, "Where are we going?" And he goes, "Oh, I know where we're going," because Turan played there or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was drafted by Philly, and so we're driving, and I forget, was it? I want to say Nick Stadjhar, but I don't think it was. But there was another guy in the truck with us, and all of a sudden I go, "Turan, do you know where we're going?" And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "Well, we're in a real tough neighborhood now. Like it's all walk up step. Guys are on the stoops, like sitting there as we're walking. I go, Turan, we got to get." And when you don't know where you're going, Turan's looking around driving, and boom, we rear end the guy in front of us. And we're all in suits. Like I'm like, oh my gosh. Turan, and all these people start coming out and surrounding the cars, and Turan's out there, and this is why the GS Construction, they've got a good leader. He diffused the whole situation. I don't know how, and I thought we were all dead. I was sitting in the back of the truck thinking, I'm gonna die. This is terrible. West Philadelphia. This is where I'm gonna.
Where's Will Smith when you need him?
And it was so funny. And then a guy actually got in his car and I think helped us get out.
Wow.
And,
Oh, wow.
so it was and then we went out and had a great night. But that was touch and go for a little bit.
Hey, when the Flyers had the Phantoms playing there, they played out of the Spectrum while the Flyers were in the new building, right?
Yeah.
What was that old Spectrum like? Because they're all right around each other. The football stadium, baseball, basketball or hockey, basketball, obviously.
It was cool because I played against my first time with Edmonton. We went and played against the Flyers actually in the old Spectrum.
Okay.
With the Legion of Doom line. So
Damn.
with Renberg, Leclerc, and Lindros, and those boards, like there was so much give. I was talking to one of the rink guys, and I go, "This is cool." So building because they were doing a bunch of stuff. I go, "How many events are in here?" Like, and I think that year they were all, like there was like 392 events. So in one calendar.
So they
year.
had 2 days.
So 2 a
there.
days.
Yeesh.
Like, and the boards go in, and you'd hit someone, and they were like wrestling ring ropes. You know, they were like, blah, 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 blah. But when the Legion of Doom came out, and I think it was Renberg that hit Yuri Slager in the corner, and it was just like the sound, and then the fans go crazy, and it's a great place to play. Like straight up, it's like an old Roman Coliseum, right?
Yeah.
They're just, and Philly fans, they are just yelling at you the whole time.
It is a great vibe
Like,
in Philly. Yeah.
yeah, I had to put my helmet on because I was crying. I didn't want to see tears. I didn't even play. But I remember the Hextall played, and he was a wingnut. And Kurt Maltby was one of the funniest guys ever. He'd always get under guys' nerves. And it was a TV timeout, second period. So Hexy's going to the bench, and Maltz just kind of tapped the top of the knob of Hexy's stick, just touched it a little bit.
Yeah.
Hexy lost it, and he was like, he spit at Maltz. Like, he turned around and he was like mad. He wanted to kill him, and he spit at him. He didn't hit him, but I'm just like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. But yeah, and then we played the Phantoms.
Right.
They had a guy, Frank Bialois. I played with Frankie a bit in Portland. He was an interesting character at the least, but they called him the Animal, right? And so he'd come out, and the whole crowd in the Spectrum for a Phantoms game, an American League, they would start going, Animal, Animal. And they dump the puck in his corner, and he'd just run over a guy, and they'd just go nuts, drop the gloves. I think he fought Bonvie that night or whatever. It was just great sports town. This old Spectrum, yeah, it's one of those cathedrals. If you ever get a chance to go in and check it out,
You can't anymore. They tore it down in 2010 or 2011, and when they did, Rod Phillips did a Rod Classic. It was the year he did 10 games against 10 significant teams that the Oilers had faced during their history that he obviously called. And Jack Michaels and him did a thing at the time I was at Oilers TV for us. And they were literally like tearing down the Spectrum, and Rod was talking about all the 2 Stanley Cup finals and going to the building and all of that, because it was right there. The ballpark is there, the football stadium. What is it now? I can't remember the name of it. They've renamed that arena where the 76ers and the Flyers play.
Used to be Wells Fargo or whatever.
Wells Fargo Arena, yeah. It was like Wachovia Center for a while. And
right.
So it's all like right there. Now where the Spectrum was, there's like a bunch of bars and restaurants. So
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
And there's like I think there's a statue of Ed Snyder as well there. So they turned it into a bit of a hub for the other 3 stadiums. And apparently that's where the Spectrum was. And then there's some parking there.
That's cool.
I think the parking's where the Spectrum was or something. There's like a plaque
it's
or something.
Along those lines. Yeah, it's like a huge parcel. Imagine Northlands with Commonwealth, Rogers Place, and a ballpark. And
It's
then,
pretty cool.
That's
really
basically
neat.
what it
Really
is.
neat. And the Spectrum, it was. I remember looking. It's a huge building, but then you saw the new one.
It's
and it was
huge,
just, It's gargantuan.
Yeah.
Just dwarfed the size of it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
So if I can ask you this, everybody knows about like Maple Leaf Gardens in the Forum and Boston, Detroit, like the old arenas. But what's the coolest old school building you played in that's not one of those
Original
iconic
6 ones.
original, yeah.
Well,
It could be for good or bad. Like Nassau Coliseum, you hear like
It was awful.
horror stories.
It was awful.
I played in the old Buffalo Auditorium, the All Odd, and that was straight up, and it was crazy in there because the boards, like, I don't think I ever went out to touch the puck because you never know what it was going to do, right? You look down the boards and they were just like this, and that was the game actually. Old clips when you see Doug Waite when Hasek throws his hand back.
The crazy rollover save.
Yeah.
I played that game.
And you had a great game.
I had a great game. I remember we were back in the hotel afterwards, and Craig Simpson, who was I think he was doing color for the Sabres back then. It was one of my shining moments in the NHL. We were sitting in the waiter's room drinking beers, and Craig came over and hung out for a bit, and I felt bad because he was like, he had to stand, his back was still really bothering him, and he was like standing against the wall and had to constantly move. But he said, Joaquin, you played really good tonight. Good job. I was like, well, thanks.
If Doug had just buried
If
that.
Doug would've
'Cause he
buried
wanted
that-
to- I went back and watched the clip, and he like nonchalant.
He thought he had him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, he did
No,
not.
he did not. And I remember seeing, that was the first time I played against Pat LaFontaine. And wow, that guy cornered like he was on rails. I remember he came in and it was kind of Modano-esque. His jersey was flapping in the back. And I go, well, he's got to turn around and go back. And he just went, vroom. And I was like, holy, you're not in Kansas anymore. Cool.
Brother Morgs texts in. Hey boys, glad to be here for the hangout. I got a 12-pack of Hoots yesterday. Brought it to disc golf for the boys. The stuff is awesome, so smooth and not too sweet. They sure go down easy. Everyone loves it. So,
Boom.
Hoots is going to be deadly all summer. And our parlay has been sent in to the boys at Cool Bet. So we'll see. We'll see what the number is for that one. And again, on 2 guys and a goalie, we'll throw it out there. And if it's up, I'm sure Haas might talk about it a little bit on the Lock Shop. Let's give away a chance to qualify for the VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 12th through the 14th, Kingsman Park. Friday, Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis. On Saturday, it's Kevin Hart. Sunday, Burt Kreischer and Whitney Cummings. You only could buy tickets to the Saturday and the Sunday shows. GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com for more tickets. Limited number for those 2 shows. The Friday show completely sold out. Alacat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, which includes the 6 o'clock lager. So great outdoor venue, chance to drink a 6 o'clock lager, have some good laughs from some of the best comedians out there. What better way to spend a summer evening? GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com again for more information. But we want to qualify you for that table for the Friday. Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis. We're going to give this away next Friday. So we're going to qualify people for 1 more week and then give this away. But to qualify right now, get your phones out, 780-218-9999. Very basic for today. Your prediction for Game 5, Oilers-Canucks. All you have to do is text your prediction to 780-218-9999. You'll go into a draw to qualify for the chance to win that VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, Kingsman Park, July 12th, to see Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis. Another qualifying opportunity in the Lock Shop today, another opportunity during 2 guys and a goalie. Feel like quickly we need to mention here on the Hangout condolences to Darren Dutchyshen and his family, the entire TSN family, as a legend of Canadian sports broadcasting passing away today. I think it was 7 years here in Edmonton with ITV, which is now global. Just an icon. And there was no one better on, I think, our sports television than Darren Dutchyshen, and also no one funnier. He was the best. And when he'd ever go anywhere for hot stoves, we had him for a TSN 1260 golf tournament hot stove once.
He was great.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He got that mic, he'd get on and he'd tell stories, he'd make you laugh. He was just absolutely the best. Tough news for everyone to hear about the passing of Darren Dutchyshen.
Yeah. I remember the golf tournament. He was great. Always had a great attitude and seemed like he was excited about everything he was doing.
Yeah.
A couple moments that stand out to me from Dutchy, outside of just generally being an excellent broadcaster. When Pierre Maguire and him, they would do like the 50 best moments or whatever, those types of the filler shows, right? Dutchy would do them, and you're like, oh, I'll watch this. And Pierre Maguire, I think this was a World Juniors one, or they were doing a hit, and Pierre and him are like standing beside each other. TSN had them standing in front of like a big TV. And Pierre looks at him and goes, yeah, Dutchy, you shake a pretty big stick. Dutchy like looks at him and kind of just like, and moving on. I'll always remember that because I was like, wow, he handled that really well. That was super awkward. So Pierre Maguire being Pierre Maguire. Anyway, the other one I remember of Darren Dutchyshen was growing up when I played hockey, I played against one of his sons. And I remember this game where we scored. I think I scored. And I remember looking into the crowd and Dutchy is like being like, nice goal, boys. Nice goal. I was 7, 8 years old, but I remember who he was. And he was cheering for us as well. You know, good sportsmanship. So that stands out in my mind. I know there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions out there that have had other Dutchy memories, but those are the 2 that stand out to me. Boy, you shake a pretty big stick, and he's just and moving on. And then him clapping for us scoring a goal when I was 8 years old or whatever.
In Vancouver growing up, like how you digest your sports would be late night sports, right? So Don Taylor was my.
He's great.
He's awesome. Like he would. I remember I would get the PVR or whatever record VHS if he did, and like a young Joaquin Gage or whatever, he would throw that out every once in a while. But then I came to Edmonton, and of course he had turned it on. Okay, who was the local guys, and Dutch and Perry Solkowski.
Yep.
Like those two were just like they were such icons for a young athlete, because you'd go home and go, oh, are they going to say something nice about me, and stuff, and then meeting them later, and then you hear their voice and you hear it through the TV so much, but then you actually see them in person. And Dutchy was like, I got the privilege of playing, going to some charity golf club tournaments with him, and just so funny, completely offside half the time, but really funny guy. And it's I remember when he got the job at TSN, and I remember being a little bit sad that he was off local, the local airwaves, and he was going to the big show. But he'll be sorely missed for sure.
I've never met a Camo joke or a Kim Mitchell joke I didn't like, and I remember one time we're watching these highlights, and it's in the Sky Dome, and somebody crushes a home run. You know how they had that fan deck underneath the hotel?
Yeah.
So Dutch he does his and it's gone. And some guy with a mullet catches it, and he's like, Kim Mitchell's losing his mind. And the guy goes jumping up and down with the ball. I still laugh that day. Like, it's awesome.
He was the best. And I remember when he came back, one of the few things he did after he came back on TV after his cancer diagnosis was he did the Grey Cup, because Dutty was at Qatar for the World Cup.
Right.
And you could just see how happy he was. A good prairie boy, getting to do a Grey Cup hosting. He was loving it, and he was having a great time out there. So
that was in Saskatchewan, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it was also in Saskatchewan for that one.
Perfect.
So prairie boy being right there. So it was, sad news, and sympathies, hearts go out to everyone with his family and the TSN family. We were part of that family for a while, and you could just when he was going through all of that, you could just see how much it impacted everyone there. And when he came back for SportsCenter, I think him and Jennifer Hedger, it was such a great moment that he was back doing SportsCenter, and it was just so natural.
I know.
Just too good at it. He was just and too funny. So a big loss for Canada today. I
was telling Maddie before when we were outside that. I hope Global pulls out a footage of it. They had him one night on Sportsnet, and somebody's buddy was an Edmonton cop, so they arrested him on air. And they just follow him going out to the car and everything like that. It's gold.
Sports Night was a great show.
It was.
It was unreal.
If I was allowed to stay up, I'd always watch Sports Night, and they'd be at. I think they went to the BP Lounge too.
They would do that.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Friday thing or something.
And people getting
gooned,
gooned, and the boys are reading highlights, and I'm like, that looks like fun.
And they used to have the trivia. It was a feat to win Sports Night trivia,
right?
Yeah.
30 minutes at the 11:30 till midnight.
Yeah.
Carius would always have like this saying he did every Friday.
KK would?
Yeah, he had this one saying, and if you go to him and ask him for it, he'd rattle off very quickly. But it was something about like whatever, we're going into the weekend or something. But it's just this quick little thing he did like every Friday, and it was at the height. It was when also like 6 o'clock newscasts at like 6:40 or whatever it was would do 20 minutes on sports or something. They would end with sports and they would do full sports.
Yep.
Yeah. And now you've got Slav Kornick doing like a story.
Yeah. And to Gager's point, like even playing high school sports, you'd see your football
Athlete
highlights on your they do that, or your buddies playing like Ainley's versus Skona soccer, and they have highlights.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, Jimmy's on TV, right? Like,
I know my age is showing, and like phones, they're great, but there was something about that 11:30 time slot watching the highlights and just getting all your information that way.
Yeah, it was hard. Well, you didn't have the full TSN sports,
you
sports
didn't.
nets and stuff.
True.
So that was your way of finding out. Okay, well, I may have known that somebody won a game, but here's the chance to see the highlights of all of that. So,
God, how did we survive?
Dutchy.
they're much better. Ignorance was bliss at the time. Ignorance was a bliss. There's a lot we didn't know.
Wow.
You remember just being like, hey, somebody left you a message. Yeah, I'll get back to them tomorrow. I don't need to text them back. There's no texting.
There's no like if you wanted to complain about someone, you had to grab a pen and paper and write it out and decide I'm actually going to mail this, so you had time to think on it.
They
Do
took
I have
calls.
stamps?
They took calls too on that show, didn't they?
I think they did. They had something. Well, Halsey would take calls, wouldn't he? Or would he
And
be
the
on
radio
morning
shows, I don't know if the TV did.
Did they? Okay.
They might have taken like the recorded, like here's a call this number. And then they grabbed some audio from it. And played it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did live.
Okay, so they had Dutchy, Ron Rimmer, I believe,
Yeah.
for a bit, Jay Durant, Perry Solkowski, Karius, and I think Dino Millard was
Dean
in
Millard,
at
yeah.
the end.
No, I think was he there? He was at A Channel.
Was Dino
Channel.
Oh, I thought.
I thought he was.
Oh,
at
maybe
A
Dino
Channel.
got there later. Okay, my bad.
Dino, when for?
To get to Sports Night, did Dino ever do Sports
No, he
Night?
went to.
I don't know.
Sportsnet.
I don't think he was ever. I don't think Dino ever did Sports Night as it was.
Okay, my bad.
Because Drager was at A Channel too, wasn't he?
Drager was a
Yeah,
channel.
that's right.
Yeah. No, Edmonton is actually either you're from Edmonton area
Yeah.
or,
Or you
you've
went
come through
Sean
Edmonton to
McCormick?
get
Yeah.
up there.
Get up there.
Like Gord Miller was a Nate grad. Well,
Right.
actually, no, he was not a Nate grad. He ditched Nate because he got his job and he left early and his career went off. You got Brian Mudrick. Cuthbert was CBC locally
Yes.
He was.
before he went national.
Yeah.
Like there's this
Jamie Campbell was CBC.
Jamie
right?
Campbell,
th-
Jamie
this
Thomas.
is a
Yeah.
city that has actually historically
Yeah.
been a place to go to if you want to go to the next step. Who's the one on sports? Like Carly Agro, is it?
Carly was
Yeah.
here. Yeah,
She
for
came
a
through here
bit.
for very
really?
brief. She was at CTV for
Carly and I
very
were
brief-
at Lloyd together. I was the 6 o'clock news anchor. She was our sports host.
Ken Reed.
Kenny
Stanislavski.
Reed.
Came
Yeah.
through CTV.
Yeah.
Natasha.
Right.
It was like
That's a
Edmonton.
lot, man.
Edmonton
Yeah.
has pumped them out.
Huh?
We've pumped them out.
That's why it's such a good sports town, I guess.
And now we won't pump any more out because we're not doing it anymore.
Randy
Yeah.
Hahn, the voice of the San Jose Sharks in the early 80s. Randy Hahn was a local
right.
sports guy. Thought it was him and I talked about being at CFRN because I anchored sports there too. And but then someone said he was at ITV, but maybe it was both.
Caster saying Darren Millard was at Channel. Dino was only ever at Global ITV.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was
Does
Darren.
Dave Randorf just do
He's lightning now.
lightning now?
Yeah.
He was a big guy in Vancouver too. He made me mad one night. God, I wanted to kill him.
What happened?
What did he do?
This sounds good.
I
Yeah.
would never think of anyone saying, I want to kill Dave Randorf.
Well, maybe not kill's harsh, but I was upset with him. Because I'd run into him all the time, right? Like, I'd be a rabid fan. I remember running into I don't know who the other Farhan. Laujy. I would see him at the Shark Club a lot.
Farhan's a beauty.
With his
It's been in town.
with his he would be at the Shark Club. I forget the other guy's name too, but they'd come in with their those FBI jackets with FBI, but it said TSN on the back.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just trolling with those bad boys, essentially wearing their jerseys to the bar. It was hilarious. But and then but I played against the Canucks way back, first star or whatever. I'm rolling out with my two childhood buddies, and we all would run into Randorf all the time, and he was walking out of the game, and my buddy was like, because we'd see him at the Roxy and go, Joaquin, he's with the Oilers, and Randolph, yeah, whatever. And so, and then finally, I was like, look, we weren't shitting you. Like I played, and he was like, oh yeah, right. And he goes, well, what happened to Steve Passmore? I was just like,
Oh, no.
you prick! You better get in that little Miata and get out of here.
Oh, he would fit in the Miata.
But sorry, Dave, I had to tell that story. But,
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
During the 2017 playoffs, he called the San Jose series. And in the hotel at San Jose, Jack, Michaels, myself, and Dave would always run into each other in the steam room. Oddly enough. And then Jack being Jack, and Dave didn't really know Jack that well, and we were just starting to get to know each other.
Well, everyone's just hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just hanging out. And I remember we were all going to walk to the arena together from the hotel, and Dave's kind of being weird around me. I was like, what's up, Dave? He's like, oh, hey, Tom. And he's kind of brushing me off. And I'm like, what did I do? I don't smell or anything. And Jack walks up and he goes, see, Dorf told you he missed you in the steam room. And I was like, what did you say to him? And Jack starts laughing. He's like, I told Dorf you were really excited to have a steam with him. And when he wasn't in the steam room, you were really upset. I was like, what? What is wrong with you? So every time I see Dave when Tapa's in town, I'm like, Dorf, go for a steam today or what? He's like, ah.
Who's the other? Paul Romanuk too.
He's a great guy.
He is a great guy. He was Spengler voice for years.
Yep.
And he when TSN started broadcasting Western League games, it was only usually at the end of the year, and
Like they do now.
yeah. So I always had the VHSs of him calling me, and he would. I have one of those names where it was funny because they would say both my names a lot.
Joaquin
They wouldn't
Gage.
just be Gage, you know.
Yeah.
They go Joaquin Gage
Because it's a cool name.
It rolls really well.
Yeah.
But I think every friend group has that. We were talking. Tom Vernon is a friend of ours. Nobody ever just calls him Tom. It's Tom Vernon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
The weird one for me is Raimai's cousin. We all call him Cousin Mike. He's not my cousin, but we'll call him Cousin Mike. Like we all call him Cousin Mike. That's a weird one.
I had some good Jim Hewson ones too. He used my
I love
full
Jim
name
Hewson.
when he would do one of my games.
Vancouver has done well of producing play-by-play voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do stand by John Shorthouse is probably one of the most underrated play-by-play
He's
guys
fantastic.
in the
Great.
country.
Yeah.
He was great on the local broadcast too. Shorthouse. What did he say? The one NBA ref or coach. He was. I distinctly remember he'd always say, "Oh, so and so looking like he lost the battle with wild turkey last night." It was NBA, his hair was like this. It was like this. Oh, it was so good, so good.
How are you doing after the sweep?
The sweep.
Winterhawks.
The factory.
Well, listen, I watched a bit, and what Dusty said this morning was true. That Moose Jaw team is a wagon.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
You needed to send in the video message. I'm telling you,
I
you needed
know.
to pump up those boys in the locker room with a video message. Like, hey, boys, come around. Joaquin Gage has a message.
Yeah.
And then you pump the boys up.
well, there was some old alumni that I played with that were down there watching some of the game and stuff. But
It did look amazing watching Moose Jaw, just with the players coming back and how that much they were celebrating it. And now then they get the win. First time ever.
I mean,
Good for Moose Jaw.
it's great. Hopefully, they can do something special at the Memorial Cup and bring it back to the West. There's always that rivalry between the OHL. We always had. I think back when I played, you played 72 games in the Western League.
Ooh.
And you only played 60 some in the OHL and the Quebec League. So we always thought
Really?
we always said we were tougher, and the fact that we didn't count 10 minutes misconducts to your penalty minutes. They did in the other leagues, so we would have killers that had 500 minutes in penalties, and then so would they. But half of them were 10 minutes. Those guys were fighting. I remember that one Memorial Cup with Spokane when they went. And that was Falloon, Trevor Kidd, Ray Whitney, and that was the big thing. They got in a match with some of the because I think it was in Quebec that year, and they had a couple guys with 500 PIMs too, but. There was two guys, I think, on Spokane. Like Kerry Borowski had over 500 PIMs just in fights. Man. And they had a brawl, and it was mopping the floor with these guys. So that was fun. I was close to going to the Memorial Cup. That's a tough trophy to win, man. A lot of things have to go right for you.
Yeah.
With the Memorial Cup, there's people like talk about changing the format. Can we just leave it as is?
Yeah, that's something you don't touch.
Oh, if you could feasibly do it, I would change it to add more
what?
people. I would have made more of a March Madness type style tournament. I would bring more teams into it, and I would do a full
Why?
thing. But to add more teams to it and make it a bigger thing, like because right now it is just a crapshoot. You go to the tournament, you have one bad game, and your tournament's almost over. Right,
That's
and
the
that's what
beauty
makes
of
it
it.
tough part. But I wouldn't mind making it a bigger thing to try to get everyone, I think, more interest into it. I think you can make it bigger and better. But I also don't think you could feasibly do it because if you're going through these long playoffs through the WHL,
Yeah.
OHL, and Q, you then can't extend the Memorial Cup. You can't be playing much deeper. So you'd have to limit the playoffs that you have with the three leagues to grow it. But I have time for the 16-team tournament to go for it and build a March Madness thing and make it much bigger.
You can't shorten like. How do you make the WHL playoffs smaller? What are they?
You
30
can't.
teams now,
Well, and the
it's
owners
just-
won't want that because
No.
the
They
playoff
lose out.
gates, all those
Yeah.
things. But I do have, if realistically you could do it, I would love to change the
So in
Memorial
a
Cup
perfect
for it.
world
In a
type of
perfect,
situation.
because just physically. Like, how long would a 16? Actually, maybe it wouldn't be that long.
But then if you do the March Madness, it's still one and done.
Well, that's the thing. Well, but it makes it more one and done. But you bring more teams to it, and we could fill up brackets, and we could get all into it. And I think that you would drop more interest in the Memorial Cup.
I don't know if there's something you can do with the host city getting in.
I hate the host city, but I understand
load up, and then you lose the first round and sit for a month while everybody else plays.
Or you just get completely destroyed when you finally get there, too, right? Like I think Saskatoon had one of those years. They tried to load up, and then they were actually in trouble at the beginning of the year because they were supposed to be good, and they lost. And they were going to. It was looking like they weren't even going to make the playoffs and be the.
Could you imagine?
Well, and so they were almost deciding, well, do we move it? But I think they loaded up and then got bounced in the first and ruined their organization for the next 5 years.
Damn.
But that's junior hockey in a nutshell, though.
Yeah.
That's just
you're gonna. My friend's son plays for Medicine Hat right now, and he got on as a 16-year-old. They weren't, well, he was up and down as a 16-year-old, I think, and they were terrible. Right?
Yeah.
But now they've got some beasts. These young guys are really good. So the arc of a team, I've kind of seen it again. So next year, Medicine Hat's going to have a really good team.
they will. Well, they drafted that whatchamacallit this year in the Bantam draft, right?
DuPont?
Yeah.
They got DuPont?
Is that who got him?
I thought didn't they pick?
I don't know. I don't know where
Let
he
me
went.
verify, double check.
Oh, Kings will take a
He got
step up next year, too.
Exceptional status.
That's crazy if they got him. 'Cause they have the...
Oh, continue, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's nothing too major.
Oh, they got the that kid from. Is he from the Yukon? He's unreal. Jeez.
Everett got
is it
Landon
Everett?
DuPont.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So the EST parlay has been passed along to the boys at Coolbet. Like it's been passed along to the people to build it and put it up there. So has the off the Schneid parlay.
Off the Schneid.
McLeod, Fogel, Hyman, each with a point, has been passed along, and Jake from Coolbet will let me know when they're up. So the off the Schneid one might be up there too. So I'm very excited about that one.
I might
We'll see
put a
what
whole
happens.
50 cents on that one. So my 25 cents.
Hey,
back.
That's a sprinkle.
I'm a guy up to I don't bet more than $5 or something. So you're well within one mark. Eric loves when I tell him that I put it I'll build a soccer 50-cent parlay that will win me $7.
I'll be honest, I stopped betting because I was the guy, Dusty would come out with him in the mornings and everyone's on a roll. It's on a 5-game roll. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting my $1 on there. Lose. Without a doubt. It's just, I am that guy. So I just stopped betting.
Well, the EST parlay, I'm got the first win, then I've dropped the last two. So this parlay, the big one, really. But I've actually just loaded up, which is probably the worst thing I could have done.
It's going to be great. The Oilers are going to win. Off the Schneid's going to win.
That was the one I'm going to be cheering for the most.
Wow.
Just the idea of also McLeod, Focal, and Hyman all get points, and that hits. Yeah. That's all because of Kevin.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll see how that fully plays out. We'll keep you posted on that one. This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots Hard Ice Tea. Matt Iwanyk, Joaquin Gage, Kevin Bhandal, Tom Gazzola with you here. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk, promotional products that bring homage. Check them out at the Hive Product, hiveproductmarketing.com. Not much merch left, actually. We still have some hats. Those have actually been flying.
Yeah.
Our Hive hats.
That's
we got
great.
that reshipment, and then all of a sudden I got a bunch of people wanting them. So I'm we put a good dent into it. I still have some. We're almost out of hoodies.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Almost down. I've got a couple larges left, and that's pretty much it.
I've
we got
seen
the
a few
champion
lingering
sweatshirts
out there. That's great. Are we doing that second? When's the next pop-up shop coming up?
Well,
You're curating that.
Yeah, no, we kind of go. We were me and Chelsea were talking about some things. We were doing just some small things. It wasn't going to be a big pop-up shop or anything like that. But I've been focused on some other things that's kind of been on the back burner.
Yeah.
So probably be fall, we'll do something again. Although Jay wants with the hats that we have, he wants it to be changed the color blue to green. So the Edmonton Sports Stock's all in the same yellow, but instead of blue, it's
green
green
and gold.
for the
I
green
see.
and gold.
Yeah,
So
I
and
got
sell
you.
a limited for both elks and golden bears and pandas
actually a
color
good
and stuff.
idea.
So
It
is.
I just need to actually talk to Chelsea and get that order in and see
Get
what it
that.
would look like, and maybe do a special run of the EST hats, but in green.
That nice forest
those
green.
colors.
Is the 25th first elk game? What's
25th
Yeah,
preseason.
next Saturday will be their first home game.
8th is
preseason.
The,
yeah? I'm
Ju-
slinging dogs next Saturday.
June 8th is the home opener and season opener. Green and Gold kickoff post-game shows this season. Myself and Jay Milne live from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on the Fort Road, where you can come on down, jump in on the daily special, say hi to Jay and I, get on the LRT, head to the game, come back, play some tables, play some games, watch our post-game show, go home. Wonderful day.
I'll see you there.
I'll see you there too.
All
Tom.
right.
All right.
I'm looking forward
It'll
to
be
that.
good. That will be good. Back in the kitchen.
Which one are you in?
I don't know.
They rotate it,
announce
right?
Oh, do you?
I'll announce it.
But it is funny, Kev. Like, Joaquin, your friends are here.
Yeah, the one lady, she gets a little mad. She's a little crusty, but my goal is to make her laugh, like, because she's just angry half the time, and so it's pretty funny.
Your day was accomplished when you got the one chuckle from her.
Yeah, like she'll say something, and I'll say something to her, and I'll keep a straight face, and you can see her look, and then she tries not to laugh, and then she laughs.
Yeah. And when we show up, we're usually like one eye's not working anymore, and we smell like booze. Yeah, it happens.
I did forget to mention this. We did have someone jump into the nasty chat earlier. I think I lost it in the chat. No, here might be it. Justin of Belgoni, nice to see a Cavis Reed Fantasy League of Adult Things member. And the Georgia Satellite second that. So are you ready to be better this year?
Absolutely.
Because all of you guys gave Dusty a win last year. I hope you guys know that.
No.
Yes, you did.
I gave him the run. I was up in the finals against him. I actually beat him in the regular season. But here's the thing, Matty. Like, you've been in this draft for like 7 years. This is our first year.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so
my team, Dusty's team was split between me, Eric, and Lucas. I don't know how you guys let Dusty build his team the way he is. I need you guys to be better.
He just went BC heavy. That's what his thing was. He went BC heavy.
You need to be better.
Need to be better. But have
you guys figured out a draft day?
I think it's either June 2nd or 3rd, the Sunday or the Monday. That's the weekend we're going to do it.
We're doing it too.
Yeah, but we don't know when. But that's the thing with the CFL, right? You don't know. Now all of a sudden Chad Kelly's gone for 9 games. What does that do to the Argos? Or
it changes a lot.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
Good weapons, no quarterback.
Commish
to
says
distribute.
June 2nd.
Okay. Thanks, Commish.
So throw that out there. I think we're on the 3rd.
Big weekend.
Which one?
This weekend. Good sports.
Where's F1? Which one?
Imola.
Italy.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, it'll be good. Lots of upgrades. Everyone's bringing upgrades. Even Red Bull's bringing upgrades. So, and Mercedes said that the adjustments that they made now, I think they're full of it, but they said now that the upgrades that they're going to bring are going to enhance the things that they've done to the car. So interesting. But
so we got F1. Monday we've got CFL preseason game. First one.
We do.
yeah,
Bombers Riders. You got NHL. You got NBA. There's actually some good WNBA games being planned for this weekend. Soccer actually. It's actually a big day on Sunday in England. It's the last day of the regular season. And we're going to find out who wins the title between Arsenal and City. And what I love about soccer, everyone plays at the same time.
yeah.
And if City wins, they win the title. If they draw or lose, Arsenal wins the title. And it's going to be, I remember United got screwed on this. Well, not screwed on this. They lost a couple years ago because they had the win late and City was in extra time and they needed a goal to win the title and they got the goal. And United fans got crushed and it was awful. But here, like Steve Sandor's a big Arsenal guy and like he's like, he hasn't been getting help on this from other teams, but now it comes down to, like, he was joking, like, somehow City's going to blow this game, but Arsenal, with their history, they're also going to blow it. And that, like, they'll have been right there. So you got that this weekend. What else is going on this weekend?
Just really
PGA
quickly.
Championship.
Right.
Valhalla.
Sandor was, like, staring at you as you were walking in the press box in the first intermission the other night with a big smile on his face, and you, like, walked up to him, and, like, I was like, "What's up, Steve?" And he's just like, "1 second." And he's just staring at you. And then you guys start talking EPL. I'm like, I'm out of here.
It's-
I don't need this crap.
It was my favorite because like as soon as I saw him, I knew what he was going to talk about. I knew what I was going to talk about. We went
He
in.
saw you 50 feet away.
And we just started laughing, and then we had our chat, and I just went, oh man, Oiler fans would probably just really hate Steve and I right now that after the first period of an Oiler game, we're at Rogers, the Oilers are up 1-0, and him and I are talking
soccer.
City Tottenham game from that afternoon and how this impacts Arsenal.
I walked out of there so fast.
Well, and then Yoni, I felt bad. Yoni came up, and I hadn't seen Yoni in a while, and he came to
good
say
to see
hi,
Yoni.
and I was like, hey, but we were in our middle of soccer chat, and he stood there hoping, I think maybe we'd go off the soccer talk, but we didn't.
No. Well,
So yeah, it was great seeing for that one because the last couple of games, Steve and I was just an immediate. We knew exactly what the conversation was, and yeah, Sunday that one's going to be a lot of fun to follow.
What about World Championships? Anyone watching any of that? That's going on.
never
yeah, how
cared.
Canada blowing that 6-1 lead,
Yeah,
then
that's
Tavares
crazy.
going in 10 seconds in and scoring. You're like, okay.
I used to only care because at 12:60 we'd carry games,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so I'd have to schedule it. Beyond that, I just don't care.
And half the Oilers would be on the team too. So.
True.
Well, during the Decade of Darkness was great for us because we would promote like, hey,
Yeah.
Oilers or Canada taking on Leon Draisaitl and Germany. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we got those games on
Ryan
12:60.
Smith, Captain Canada.
Yeah.
But then it's like it's a nothing tournament.
Wait,
to me.
I covered it and I learned like the magnitude of it, especially in Europe and the hockey
huge.
world. Like they're talking like audiences, like hundreds of millions of people watching. I was like, come on, not Stanley Cup's big, and they're like, no, this thing's huge.
Yeah.
And I
And
get
we just
that.
don't care about it.
But here we
Yeah.
got playoffs going on.
I know,
And
and
that's the
that's the
thing.
thing.
Like, I'd rather follow the NHL playoffs because to me, I look at that and I go, well, that's not Canada's best. It's
No.
not our second
True.
best. Like,
And it's not. So the World Junior Tournament at Christmas, it's a TSN tournament. Like
Yeah,
yes.
they've pumped
Made
it up
it.
and made it
Absolutely.
into something huge. No one's ever done that for the audience here.
They tried. Remember they brought it over. I
Quebec
think they had
City.
it. Yeah, in Quebec.
Did they?
and-
It was
and
why- it was
just,
like-
I don't remember
It was
that.
or
ho-hum.
late 2000s,
They,
early
they
2010s.
tried it. They tried it.
They did
They're
it in
like, let's get
non-NHL
this-
cities.
Yeah, let's get this thing going in North America, and yeah, it kind of
Quebec
It's
was
just
City,
a
like,
long one a
Halifax?
year. Like right now, it's hard to have
Absolutely.
capacity beyond the Oilers right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I love how the Wikipedia page is Ice Hockey World Championships.
Well, that's what it's called.
I know, but North Americans and especially Canadians hate when you call it ice hockey. I just do love that.
Like it's
gotta
huge.
find
Like
this one.
there's the tournaments throughout the year, like the Finlandia Cup, the Sweden games, the what are the I don't know if the German Cup's in there, but all those the old Izvestia, the Baltica or whatever it is, there's all points working towards the World Championships. Right.
Yeah.
So and then there's a separate trophy for winning like point wise. So.
Gager, it's hockey in a soccer structure, basically, right?
Kinda, yeah.
In Europe, yeah.
Because when you're playing over there, there's breaks where national teams get together. Or they go
Yeah.
go play in one of these tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they over there it's huge. Like
Yeah.
you go to World Championships in Czech or it's like
I was in Helsinki for it.
oh yeah,
and
it'll go crazy.
I
there.
watched grown women. Like we know that there's passionate women hockey fans, obviously, but crying their eyes
Yeah.
out more than like their husbands in the rink. At the mall, there was like their version of the Bay is called Stockman, and I remember I was just walking through during a Finnish game when Canada was off because I was basically just covering Canada and the U.S.
Yeah.
and like nobody was shopping. They were in like the home appliances sections, the furniture sections, and all the TVs were on the game. People were just sitting and watching the game. And I remember when Canada was losing to Finland in I think a quarterfinal game, and Canada tied it. And like they showed shots of people in the screen inside the arena bawling their eyes out because they knew Finland was toast because Canada was building momentum and eventually knocked them out of the championships. And yeah, like men and women, 30, 40, 50 years old, losing their minds crying because Finland had lost.
Oh, wait. Quebec City, Halifax.
well,
I was here for that one.
they were showing clips of Sheloffs when they finished third last
They
year?
finished third. He was
Yeah.
the MVP of the tournament because he was unbelievable in it.
Yeah. Did you see when they went back to wherever? Like the
Probably
whole
Riga,
city.
right?
Yeah, the whole city was out. Like
Well,
they
they
had a
never
parade.
won.
Yeah,
That was a
it
big deal for them.
Crazy. That was just for third. Imagine.
Yeah.
What would happen if they actually won the thing? Crazy.
Really important thing. I know
Are
we
you reading
talked
Fergie's
about
prostate?
Yeah.
You're
Do you want to
perfect.
read it
No,
or do
go
you want
for
me
it.
to read it?
You've got- it's
okay.
mine. Go on.
Good reminder from Fergie's prostate. We were talking about Dutchie and the passing of him and how sad it is. Fergie's Prostate texts and said, boys, Dutch died of prostate cancer. Do not ignore getting checked for this. It's a simple blood test. Stay safe, Fergie's Prostate. Good reminder, Fergie.
Yeah, and just overall, I remember when we had Cash on quite a few months ago talking about his journey through cancer and stuff, and it's just simple. Just test yourself. There's ways to do that for yourself, and also just go get checked with the doctor. It's a simple thing, and early diagnosis is very important.
Blood test.
All of it.
Yeah.
So, again, sad condolences from everyone at EST to the entire Dutchy family and everyone at TSN on the passing. GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre and post game show tonight, 6:30. Hudson's White Ave, Tom Gazzola. We think Matt Cassian, YTT. They'll get you set for Oilers Canucks game 5. Coming up next, it will be the Lock Shop. I don't know who's on, whether it's going to be Jake or Pat, but somebody from Cool Bet will be on with Huss, and it's 2 guys and a goalie at noon, myself, Gager, and we think Matt Cassian here on Edmonton Sports Talk on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as on YouTube, and we'll figure out what those values are for the Cool Bet exclusives.
Love
the 2
it.
exclusives we got today. We'll see what those values are. Kevin, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure
Wonderful
as
having
always.
you here. On behalf of Tommy, Kevin, Gager, Matt, thanks for tuning in to the EST Angle presented by 2 Hoots. Like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,